In the early hours of July 4th, 2025, the Guadalupe River surged more than 35 feet in just 5 hours, sweeping away homes, roads, and campsites along its banks. At least 130 people lost their lives, many of them young campers, at the popular Camp Mystic along the riverbank. Here's what we know so far about how this disaster unfolded and why experts say it could have been much worse. It started with torrential rain. Overnight storms dumped between 8 and 12 inches of water across the hill country, an area known for its rocky, thin soils that can't absorb heavy rainfall. The water flowed into steep, narrow canyons, turning small streams into raging torrents. By 2 a.m., the rising floodwaters had swallowed several riverside campsites, including Camp Mystic, which was packed with more than 800 people celebrating the 4th of July holiday. One camper described the scene in a heartbreaking 911 call. "We're over here by the river, and the river is rising so fast. There's a family in the water right now. They've got 2 kids, and they're trying to keep them on top of the hill. But, oh my God, the water's just raging right now." Other campers huddled on top of nearby boulders as the water level rose around them. Some waded through the water trying to reach higher ground. Others jumped into the river to help. A group of young men carried an unconscious woman on a makeshift raft to safety. Miraculously, she survived, but many others weren't so lucky. As the floodwaters rose, the campers were swept away one by one, their desperate cries for help echoing across the canyon. By the end of the day, 130 people had lost their lives, most of them at Camp Mystic. Search and rescue operations are still underway as of July 8th, and officials say the death toll is expected to rise. Local officials in Kerr County are now facing tough questions at a legislative hearing. State lawmakers grilled emergency managers about the delayed flood warnings and the lack of coordination among local, state, and federal agencies. The Texas Department of Public Safety was criticized for not activating its mass notification system, which could have alerted people downstream about the rising floodwaters. And the National Weather Service was criticized for not issuing a higher risk of excessive rainfall statement. Emergency managers say they need better tools to do their jobs, including upgraded early warning systems, updated FEMA flood maps, and stricter building regulations in areas that are prone to flooding. They are also calling for smarter development patterns that take into account the risk of flooding and the impacts of climate change. As the Hill Country residents begin to pick up the pieces and rebuild their lives, they have our deepest condolences. This was a devastating and deadly disaster, and it is a stark reminder of the power of nature and the importance of being prepared. If this report was helpful, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our daily updates. I'm your name with NowNext Daily. See you next time.